Hello friends, I have two large Adeniums, desert rose plants, beautiful like this, that I grew long time ago, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that, from a seed. The cultivar is called broccoli, which reacts very well to pruning. It basically makes more and more twiggy twigs. And one of them I started to transplant today. It was here, but here is the growing medium drying to be sifted to get rather in the way. Here is the plant, and you can see here 10 years or so how I did a very radical root pruning, and now I'm gonna do another one, and that's why I decided to make this video, because I'm gonna root prune it, dry the roots and replant it. So I wanna show you how it looks before root pruning. The reason it is hollow, the reason new roots after root pruning, radical root cutting, the reason the roots were not grown here is because I didn't want a tangled root ball, and so inside of this huge pot I put smaller pot upside down to keep the hollow space. I just washed it. This is the pot that was inside, like this. Let me show you. Like this. And the growing medium was still about here, but this time I wanna put it higher because the plant is even older, even larger. But to make sure that it would not outgrow even the largest pots I have to, once in a blue moon, root prune it. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it. Another is to get rid of damaged roots that rotted when there was too much rain in winter, or that broke during transplanting, or that got too tangled with its neighbors competing and rubbing, or scraped getting out of the pot. Okie dokie artichoke, so this is how it looks when it's taken out of pot. When I was doing that 10 year or so radical root cutting, I was doing also quite radical branch cutting. Later on I was just doing the more twigginess. Encouraging of twigginess by more frequent and more thinner cuts. Okay, so I'll just do the root cutting more radical now again, and then show you, and then it has to dry long time before planting, I guess. Okay, now about third of the circle is pruned, Also, the roots from the side that were not reaching enough, and of course the trunk will be now a little bit higher. So I interrupted pruning. This has to dry. If it takes weeks or days or months, I don't care, till it's dry, till it has a layer of a kind of skin. If it'll rot, then usually I found that I don't need to recut. Usually after a little bit of rot, there it heals again. And so I have to then just peel that decomposed part. So I interrupted pruning with this kind of knife to show you the progress. Here is the roots I cut off. Here you see now that I turned the plant to continue the pruning. Here is an example of a root that won't reach. So this will get out. This Johnny came late. Growths to make it into a trunk, this part again, little taller trunk. Hello again. Well, now it's about 2/3 done, and of course at the same time I'm doing some of these twigs that are not reaching the crown or competing with others. So here is a pile what I accomplished. Maybe to see it better, you and me, I should again hose it. And then the last turn, last third. You wanna say something into the video?
No.
Okay.
Place.
Nice, you said?
I say place.
Place? What do you mean by place?
I only said place.
Aha. Well, I'm back. I hose it so you can see it better. And I can see it better, what's going on. And I'll turn it and continue pruning. This is how it'll look when it's gonna be planted. Well, the roots are pretty much pruned, and now I'm doing the top, leaving just the main branches that are gonna be a little higher than the last pruning 15 or so years ago. I'm 76 and a half years old now, so next time this kind of big radical pruning would be done, I'll be like 90. So I don't know if I'll be able to do this video because the technology moves, changes. The YouTube might not exist in 15 years, so I'll show it to you somehow next time I have to do this big pruning. It is very pretty when the plant gets so many twigs. You can see it here, but it loses vigor because the energy is divided into so many twigs, and the division is not only due to me pruning it that way, but also because the twig that ends with flowers stops growing after all the flowers are done. and a new twig will appear. So this adeniums in general, but this type of adenium that's called broccoli in particular has this tendency of, well, just losing vigor by the energy from roots being divided into so many sub-twigs, and to a lesser degree it's true also by old plant of some other variety, with, you see, these decorative lines in flowers. So once in a blue moon during the big transplanting, if I little higher than last time cut off these kind of divisions, then it gets revigorated. The growth by energy from roots, not going into so many twigs. And of course it's super important when you prune the roots radically, because there aren't for a while enough of feeding roots. I mean, to start with there aren't any, but because it is a succulent, it doesn't care, it has a big storage. Okie doke, so this is how it looks before drying and replanting again. And a different side. And a different side. And this is the pile of root cuttings and twig cuttings.